you planned your own wedding without a wedding planner remotely. Talk to me about like that experience because most people hire a wedding planner and usually they're on site with the wedding planner throughout the planning process. So how did that go? How did it turn out? I mean, you got married, so it obviously worked.
I mean, I loved the process. I felt very much like in my element planning because I've done a lot of events like in my PR days and then Glue and EA. We did a lot of live events. So I do enjoy that whole planning process. You know, we booked our venue without ever having been there in person, just through virtual tours. Actually, just bought a house that way too. So that's a whole other story. But yeah, I mean, I had my Google Docs and my deck that I put together of like what the whole experience was going to be like, full run of show, all of that type of thing. I loved that whole organization process of it all, of just having the vision and trying to figure out how we were going to bring it all to life. Working with the vendors, I would send them this stuff and they'd be like, do you do this for a living? Like, not quite, but kind of. They're like, well, maybe you should.
But they like these responses are too good and they're too like they cover too many bases. This feels like I'm working with a fellow vendor somewhere else. They may be expecting some gaps in between, but it's like, no, you covered all the gaps.
Yeah, just answering all their questions. And again, like open to their feedback because they're obviously experts in the space, but it's like, can we do this? Will this work? Or what other recommendations do you have? And, our venue was really helpful too because they had recommendations for other vendors to work with that they'd worked with before. So also those vendors know what works in that space. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the process and also just going through it together with my husband of, figuring out how we wanted the day to be and what we wanted the experience to be like. But I would say, yeah, if none of that is your jam, definitely hire someone because it's a ton of work. And if it's not something you enjoy doing, like it's going to be very draining.